All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me here for today's class, which we are focusing all on do-it-yourself holiday gifts. So my name is Charlotte Scheid, and I'm one of the Giant Company dietitians. So today for our DIY holiday gift, we are going to be making Kashi crispy treats, where we are featuring Kashi Go cereal, which I will say is one of my favorite cereals, especially on a busy morning because it's very quick and it has a great source of protein and fiber. So we're going to be using that cereal to make a great holiday gift. So let's talk a little bit about DIY holiday gifts. So the do-it-yourself gifts, so what are they? So hopefully, or maybe some of you haven't, but probably a lot of you have made these types of gifts before. So what it is, it's creating, building, and customizing a gift on your own. So why do this on the holiday season? Well, first of all, because it's personal and meaningful. So if you're giving a gift to somebody and you've taken the time to create it, it's definitely, I think, a little bit more meaningful than just buying, something at the store because you took the time to create that gift. It also can be budget friendly, especially if you're making something like, soup in a jar, or you're making like a bunch of different things. Usually you can buy a lot of ingredients to make, you know, um, a lot of different ones. So it's definitely budget friendly. You can use your creativity and you can make it customizable to whoever that you're giving it to, which is really nice. And then one of my favorite ways to make a DIY holiday gift is you can always get the kids involved, makes for a great family activity. But I want to hear from all of you if you have made this type of holiday gift before. So let me pull up this poll and see what you all have to say. Okay. So again, the question is, do you make do-it-yourself gifts for the holiday season? So I will say one of the gifts that I always like to make is those mason jar kind of soups. You can make a lot of them. It doesn't take too long to make, but I think whoever I'm giving them to always seems to like those types of gifts. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. Let me share the results. So it looks like it's almost half and half. So there are some of you who have, but a lot of you still haven't. So hopefully this class today will inspire you to do so. Because I definitely think, for all the reasons listed, it's always a great idea to make these types of gifts. All right, so thanks everybody for answering that. All right, so how to use food with DIY gifts. So there's various ways to use food in these types of gifts. So the first one being, and I've already mentioned this, mason jar mixes. So you can always create different types of oatmeal blends or soup mixes like minestrone or chili, where whoever you're giving it to, you can always write the recipe on the side and they just have to add in liquid or whatnot, which always makes for a nice one. And also they're usually shelf stable, which is nice. You can make them ahead of time. And also bread and pancake mixes are also a good one. You can make different types of snackable gifts, so things like trail mix or granola, spiced nuts or seeds, or even energy bites as well make for nice snackable gifts. You can incorporate produce in different types of ways. Baskets seem to be pretty popular during the holiday season, so you can make a citrus basket, put different types of recipe cards with it, or even an apple kit. You can do a basket of apples and then maybe pair it with some like Nutella or peanut butter or that type of thing. So you can do different types of toppings with the apples. Also, what seems to be popular, at least the past couple years of what I've seen, different types of spice, seasoning, and infusions. So this can be things like flavored olive oils or honeys, homemade spice blends. Also with baking, you can bake mini muffins or cookies, gingerbread loaf. Charcuterie and snacking boards are still pretty popular. So you can do little mini versions of this and then incorporate, a variety of different things. Also, jam, sauces, and spreads are also a nice thing to incorporate as well. So chia jam, nut butters, and pesto as well. So as you can see, there's a variety of different ways to incorporate food for DIY gifts this holiday season. So these are some recipes off of our Savory magazine website. So again, especially for the holiday season, if you have not gone on Savory, I would definitely recommend doing so. Just because there was a variety of different recipes, whether that's for holiday breakfast or dinner. But they also have kind of DIY gifts on there too. So the first one is Italian dip ornaments. So this is where you would mix this recipe which you can put on make it into a dip, or you can even do like olive oil where people can dip their bread into it. But this has Italian seasoning, parsley, some onion powder, garlic powder, crushed red pepper. But you would put it in a plastic ball ornament, put a little bow on it, and that makes for a great gift. But again, with these dip ornaments, you can serve it with olive oil, where you can dip the bread into it, or you can add some plain Greek yogurt and mayonnaise, and add that to a bowl with some chips and vegetables. So that's one idea for a DIY gift. And again, this is off of Savory. Then the other one I wanted to mention too is this gingerbread granola. So the gingerbread granola, because we had mentioned granola, is a nice DIY gift, and you of course put in a bag or package it however you want. But this is pretty easy to make too, kind of on a sheet pan. But oats, molasses, some pumpkin pie spice, ginger, cloves, which always make me think of the holidays, with some pecans, almonds are all like really nice, flavors for the holiday season. But this is another way to kind of, gift a DIY gift. And this is, budget friendly too, because you can make a lot of it and then put it into littler bags. Okay, so let's move right along to our DIY gift, which is our Kashi Crispy Treats. So we are going to be using our Kashi Go cereal. So Kashi Go cereal comes in a variety of different flavors, like cinnamon, chocolate, mixed berry crunch, and their original. I will say the one that I use for breakfast all the time is their peanut butter, which I think is super delicious. And definitely on a busy morning, I always like it because I'm getting in my protein and fiber that I want to eat in the morning to make sure I stay fuller longer, and feel good in the morning and have sustained energy. But we're going to be using the chocolate version today. So this is similar to Rice Krispie treats, but in our skillet or pot right here, we're going to be putting in some butter, the mini marshmallows until it forms a liquid, and then adding it to 4 cups of our Kashi Go cereal, which we are going to be using chocolate. So I've already kind of done this ahead of time. So I already have cut out some shapes. We're going to be decorating then a gingerbread man, a tree, a bell, and then a star as well. So these make for really nice gifts, and we're also going to be putting it into a plastic bag with a ribbon. But there's a variety of different ways you can use Kashi Crispy treats. If you're making a charcuterie board, you can kind of cut it up. You can put it on there. You can make it as a stocking stuffer. You can make it into like a lollipop. So you put a stick in there and you can dip it in chocolate. So a variety of different ways to use our Kashi Crispy treats, but we're going to be putting it in a bag with a ribbon. So that is what we're going to be doing as our recipe today. But again, with Kashi Go cereal, for 3/4 cups, it has 10 grams of protein, 10 grams of fiber. It is low in sodium and has less than 10 grams of added sugar, which as a dietitian, that's what we're looking for in a cereal. And we definitely want, of course, less than 10 grams of added sugar. So definitely, if you're looking for a great cereal, this will be a cereal for you. But also, if you're looking for, of course, a DIY gift, you can always make these treats as well. All right, and the other thing, also before we get started with our recipe, I wanted to create kind of creative combinations with our Kashi Crispy holiday combinations. So I used all the different flavors that they have. So the first one, if you're looking for a kind of a gingerbread man theme, you can always use the Kashi Go cinnamon cereal. You can crush up and put some gingerbread cookies in it. And then of course, make the Rice Krispies, do a gingerbread cutout, and you can decorate it, which is super fun, especially with kids. You can do a snow day one. So this is where you would use the Kashi Go original cereal. You put some unsweetened coconut flakes in there, some white chocolate chips, and then sprinkles. You can also do Christmas trees. So we'll be doing this one today, but you would just use the Kashi Go chocolate cereal, which are using, and then you can decorate it once it's cut out. You can do a red and green one. You can use the Kashi Go original cereal. You can put in some dried cranberries and pumpkin seeds to get that red and green combination. You can also do a Mary Berry one. And I will say I like the Kashi Go berry as well. I would say the peanut butter and then the berry one are probably the ones that I use the most. But with the berry, you can put in some freeze-dried strawberries, white chocolate chips, and then kind of decorate it with some holiday sprinkles. And then lastly, a cherry almond one. So there is a Kashi honey almond if you really like, that honey almond flavor. So you can use that cereal, put some dried cherries in it, and then some slivered almonds as well. So as you can see, when we're making our Kashi crispy treats, there's a variety of different holiday combinations that you can choose from. So it doesn't have to be boring. You definitely make it a lot of fun and flavorful. All right. And lastly, I just want to mention before our recipe, just the different ways to use Kashi cereal. So of course, what I mentioned, I use cereal in the morning. So I obviously put milk in there. So you can use it with the milk of choice. You can put it on parfaits and yogurt bowls, smoothie bowls if you're making that. Chia pudding, you can incorporate it into pie crust. Homemade cereal bars, it can be an ice cream topping to get a little bit more protein and fiber if you are having ice cream. You can be a breading or a salad topper. You can make it into a trail mix. And of course, what we're making today is our Rice Krispie treats. So as you can see with the Kashi cereal, there's a variety of ways to use it. And as you can see with the Rice Krispie treats, there's a variety of different holiday combinations that you can do. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we will get started. All righty. So the first thing I'm going to do with my Kashi crispy treats, I'm going to turn on my pot right here just to make sure that's warm. So I already have right here 3 tablespoons of butter. So we're going to be putting that in there. So similar to Rice Krispie treats, the 3 tablespoons, and then we're going to be using a 10-ounce bag of the mini marshmallows, and we're going to melt it down until it forms a liquid. And so as you can see right here, I already measured out 4 cups of our chocolate Kashi cereal. So sometimes with these, if you're making the Kashi crispy treats, some parts are a little bit bigger than others. And usually that's not too much of an issue, but if you wanted to make it more even beforehand, I would just kind of crush it down a little bit. But we're already going to be, after we put the marshmallow mixture on it, already kind of crushing it down anyways, but just wanted to mention that. So the first thing I want to do is put in our butter. So again, 3 tablespoons. All right. And so while that butter is melting, I'm going to go ahead and do another poll while we wait for this butter. All right, so here is a question for all of you. So what is your favorite way to gift foods or the DIY foods? So maybe like a ready to eat one, ready to bake, like those cookie mixes, ingredients in a jar, like the soup mixes, or herb blends, or even like beverages as well. So what is your favorite way to gift food? So go ahead and answer that while the butter is melting. I will say for myself, which I already mentioned before, I definitely like to do ingredients in a jar because I think it makes a really nice, just a nice gift because you can put the recipe card on the side, and it can be, a unique way to gift food. All right, so let me go ahead and end the poll. So it looks like a lot of you love the ready to eat, which just can be things like mini muffins. It can be a charcuterie board. A few of you like the ready to bake, which is nice for like the cookie mixes, even oatmeal blends, and again, ingredients in a jar, and then some beverages as well. So I agree, and all are really great for food gifts. All right, so let me go ahead and see how our butter is doing. This is almost melted. All right, so next we're going to add in again our 10-ounce mini marshmallows. I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit. Just kind of mix this. All right, so while that is melting down, let me ask another question. All right, here's another question for you. What would be your favorite gift to receive? Would you like a hot cocoa kit, a spice blend, kind of like in those ornaments that we talked about, a homemade granola, flavored nuts, or olive oils and vinegars? So go ahead and answer that question while we melt this marshmallows down. All right. So I will say for myself, I like really different flavored olive oils and vinegars. I always think that that makes for a really nice gift. All right. So let's see what you all had to say. All right. So it looks like the majority of you would love some flavored nuts. I always like doing like cinnamon and sugar flavored nuts. I think those are always really good. So a lot of you, or a couple of you said the olive oils, then the spice blend, homemade granola, which definitely try that. Gingerbread granola from Off of Savory is really good. And then hot cocoa kit, because it's especially right now, the weather is so cold, that would make for a great gift. All right, so let's see how our marshmallows are doing. So normally with the marshmallows. I would say it takes, a couple minutes or so, but you always want to keep your eye on it because you don't want it to burn. So this is definitely melting down. All right. So I think that's just going to need another minute or two. So let me just go ahead and answer or ask my last poll question while that is melting, and that is, what would be what would your favorite flavor theme for a DIY holiday gift be? So peppermint and gingerbread, cranberry orange, garlic and herbs, rosemary thyme, or chocolate. And I will say I love a good savory flavor, but I will say chocolate would probably be one of mine. So go ahead and answer that. And our marshmallows are almost melted. All right. Let's see what y'all had to say. So it looks like the majority of you with me love chocolate, which who wouldn't? Then a lot of you with peppermint and gingerbread. Those are another one of my favorite because it just makes me think of the holiday season. But with cranberry orange, I love cranberry orange, kind of like granola or muffins. I always think that is a such a wonderful combination. But also going along with savory, garlic and herbs is a good one, and then rosemary and thyme as well. So all those flavors always make me think of the holiday season, but I will say chocolate is definitely one of my favorites. All right. With this marshmallow, it's almost melted. Let me actually, so you can kind of see here, you can see this in the camera. So you kind of see it's just like with Rice Krispie treats, you want it to be in a liquid form. Let me just give a couple more stirs. So again, and this is a 10-ounce mini marshmallows and then 3 tablespoons of butter. All right, so this is looking good. So we're going to go ahead, put this onto 4 cups of Kashi cereal. And so now what I'm going to do is just mix it up to make sure everything is combined well. So again, with Kashi cereal, there's so many different flavor combinations, but also different flavored cereals. So you have the berry, the original. We could even do peanut butter. Um, there's a lot of different ones. So usually with this, you want to just make sure that you are mixing it fairly quickly just before it starts to cool. But before I did my cutouts of the Kashi crispy treats, I let it cool for about, I would say 10 minutes or so, just a little bit easier to pull up the shapes. All right, so as you can see here, it is pretty much mixed thoroughly. Okay, I'm just going to set this to the side. I'm going to bring over my parchment paper. And there's different ways to do this too, but just kind of like the parchment paper to kind of press it down. So I'm going to, oops, just put it onto my parchment paper. All right, so just like that, set this over to the side. I get the excess off. And what I did too before I pressed it is I just used some canola oil spray. So you can either kind of put this on your hands if you want to, but I just put it on my spatula right here, just so it doesn't stick. I'm just gonna kind of press it down just until it's about 1 inch thick or so. Put this back. Okay, let me just spray one more time. So just kind of pressing it down until it's about 1 inch thick. But again, before I put the cookie cutters in it, I did let it cool about 10 minutes or so because it does make it easier for you to pull out the shape when you are making shapes. But again, these Kashi crispy treats are really nice for stocking stuffers and then holiday trees as well. Okay, so what you would do after this is just let it cool for about 10 minutes or so. You can see here, so we let it cool for about 10 minutes. So let me bring over the ones that I did cut out. So you can see here the cookie cutters that I use. You can see this. So I have my gingerbread man, a Christmas tree bell, and then star. So that's what we're going to be decorating. So I have a variety of decorations. So for my Christmas tree, so which is right here, I'm going to be using white icing like garland. So let me put my icing. So I'm just going to be going kind of back and forth like garland. Then I also have for my Christmas tree, I have mini M&Ms to kind of make it look like little ornaments. All right, so you can see, did like that. So kind of like the garland. Then we're going to be putting some, actually before I do the mini M&Ms, I did have some some star sprinkles. I'm going to put a yellow, and get this open, a yellow star right at the top of our tree. There we go. Use different color stars. I'll just put a star right at the top. Okay. And then I'll put my kind of M&Ms. So you can either do whatever sprinkles that you want. I'm just going to put kind of M&Ms around. So the M&Ms may stick. You might have to put some icing on them to have them stick. All right, let me do one more. M&M. All right, so our Christmas tree, you can see that kind of or not. So next we're going to be doing our gingerbread man. So which is right at the bottom. So I'm just going to give him a smiley face or mouth with the white. And then just kind of go around, kind of decorate him. Then I also have the M&Ms for buttons for him and then for his eyes. All right. So I'll give him some blue. Might actually have to use some icing to get these to stick, but so 1, 2, 3, and then I'll do some brown M&Ms for the eyes for gingerbread man. And then for the other one, if you can see this, I can take a picture then, but so we have our gingerbread man, our Christmas tree, and then for the bell, I'm just going to do kind of an outline for the bell. You can really decorate this however you want. And then I think for the, let's see, for the star, I'm going to put on, so I have blue and white sprinkles. So with these, you might have to kind of press it down a little bit. All right, let me put this up in the camera. All right, so you can see here, so we have our Kashi crispy treats. So we have a Christmas tree, a bell, a gingerbread man, and then a star. So what I also did for these, so once you get done and everything settles, so I have some gingerbread men in a plastic bag. So I'm just going to put in my star Kashi crispy treat. And then I'm going to take my ribbon, put this, and we're just going to tie bag. I think these are also really nice if your kids want to get their friends a gift for school. You can make a bunch of these and then give them to them in these little bags. All right, so I'm just doing two knots, not two knots, two, what am I trying to say? Just tie them up twice, and then you can always, this still works. You can kind of just give it a curl. Just like that. This is our Kashi Go crispy treat that we put in a nice plastic bag and then with a ribbon. So these make for wonderful DIY gifts, but just a way to use our Kashi Go cereal. So Kashi crispy treats, which is nice because compared to, regular Rice Krispies, this is a great source of protein and fiber. So make you feel further longer, which is really nice. All right, I want to just share my screen one last time before I get to the Q&A. So I just wanted to mention our upcoming class, which is tomorrow. So the coffee chat with Sheena and Jenna, what they're going to be talking all about holiday direct gift bags. So if you haven't registered for that, definitely check that out. All right. All right. And with that, I'm going to stop recording. So thank you. Take care.